Hello everyone, welcome to some more long-awaited tier list content. This time it's going to be the weapon types ranked for beginners. So what do I define as a beginner? To me a beginner is someone who's going in blind, has never played the game and is only looking like exclusively at this video and that's all the input he has. Or alternatively, you've played like your one run already, but have not studied Willy's Guide entirely and are just looking for a solid option for your second run. Like that's the gist of it. So I am not expecting full game knowledge. I am not expecting you to know where stuff is, but I am still judging on how easily accessible and how strong the different weapon types are. Now, in this case, it is more or less alphabetically sorted. I think now it should be alphabetically sorted. And we will start out with Blade, also sometimes called Saber in the game. Now, Blade to me is a solid A tier. Reason being is when you start up with it and you simply look at the AoE it has. This is really good slash incredible. At a blue weapon tier level, you already have a really good AoE. If you look at some other weapons, you get pathetic AoEs. Okay, that is slightly better, this is slightly worse. Saber or Blade is really solid. And Epic gets even better as well as Legendary. And if you take the collateral damage passive tree node into account, and I will explain it right now, it gets even better. The reason why I'm explaining the collateral damage node is because I will mention it quite a few times in this guide or tier list. The basic idea for the collateral damage node is your normal AoE, which you can see right here with the yellow squares, gets further extended by collateral damage. What collateral damage does is any adjacent tile to a yellow crit tile you can see right here will also be hit. So right here, this tile would also be hit, here, 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 you get it. It massively increases the AoE you already have, and that's collateral damage. And it's a very early passive tree node you can obtain, like in the fire tree, it's down here, collateral damage, and could even be obtained at level 16, and level 16 is very early game. But that being said, if you have the legendary or even epic range, collateral damage would add like one additional tile on the outer area, or like the outer border perimeter of this existing AoE, and that is very solid. Now, why is it A? Why is it not perhaps S tier? The issue with it, not, or rather why it's not S tier, is most people tend to follow the old man sect when they do their first playthrough, and the old man sect does not have a lot of blade martial arts. Same with the other sects, most sects will not have that many blade martial arts. However, and that's why it's not lower, if you look at where you can get the different, for example, epic martial arts for Blade, they are very easy to obtain. One is just in the underground arena from the MC, you can request it. You can request one from Chio Jimo with like only 40 relationship being needed, nothing else. You don't need to be part of the sect, whatever. Then there's one for killing or recruiting Pao Chunchio, very easy to do, can most likely be done in 5 days in-game time. Very good if you get your cooking level up as well. Then you can get one for killing or recruiting Han Hongyu. Then there are multiple in chests scattered around. One in abandoned camp, one in Linan. Then this one is mostly from a sect, and this is not really accessible. But just the fact that you have multiple chests, multiple characters, you can easily get stuff from. And that is very solid. Now, if it would allow me perhaps to go back, there you go. So it's very, like, has very good AoE. You have a ton of epic level manuals you can obtain, And if you then look at the legendary manuals, there are so many. Like it starts from the Peerless Blade, Heaven Cutting Blade, Savage Primal Blade, One Blade, Arcane Blade, Devouring Blade, Demonic Circle Blade, Flaming Blade. Those are 8 different legendary manuals, and you will most likely stumble upon 1 or 2 just by playing the game. And that is just super helpful that there are so many different options. So as such, it's like a very solid A tier. Next up, we have Brush. It sadly has to go into D tier. Brush is almost exclusively from the Confucius sect. And the Confucius sect is a bit more annoying to join. There is no immediate option to join it from the Nameless village in comparison, like just to get it straight. From the Nameless village or Nameless region, you can easily join the Old Man sect, the Langya Sword Pavilion, the Crime Investigation Bureau, and the Swallow Nest. The Confucius sect is a bit harder to join. Furthermore, there are not all too many great moves for it, not all too many great weapon types, great legendary manuals. There are in fact only 2 different ones, and one of which can be obtained in a Confucius route, but you have to pay special attention to how you like go about it. You can lock yourself out of it. The other one is from Duke Chi, and it can also be very annoying. Furthermore, the AoE is also not the greatest. It's a bit bizarre how like the AoE looks, like definitely worse than Blade. Look at this. And then this range is very bizarre. Collateral damage does help out, but it's not nearly as good as this. Like it loses 4 squares, 4 tiles already. Then the moves, if you look at epic and like even blue moves, where you can obtain them, so bizarre. If you do not join the Confucius sect, which typically happens at around Fame 5, you are completely screwed in terms of availability of manuals. As such, I'd never play this. Even if you have knowledge about where to get it, it feels bad. Then we get to Dagger and our next D tier, perfectly fitting Dagger. It has the worst, and I'm talking the worst AoE out of any weapon. This is just pathetic. This does not really make it better. Like the 1 tile behind your character, in most cases does not matter. So if you look at it, you only have 3 tiles in front for an epic level move. Blade gets 3 tiles in front and to your side at rare type. Like even your Brush at the blue level has the same AoE as a epic Dagger. And then legendary does not get better. It is still this pathetic because these do not matter. That is the first thing. Second thing is, it is very weak Dagger. It mostly relies on status effects, and status effects are not your friend when you're a beginner and are just throwing them out at random. Then the different legendary manuals you can obtain. Killer's Secret, most people will probably never see when they do a run. Meteor from Outer Space is the same thing, and Luminary Meteor Strike could be obtained in a normal run, but it's exclusive to the desert region, which people may skip, and you have to follow a specific route to get Feng Xuanji to like you. Very poor. Then if we go to the epic martial arts for Dagger, you'll be disappointed as well. Somewhere, Dagger, there's essentially nothing. There are 4 different moves. One is Jifuling, which is not really accessible as it's a long quest line. Then one with a request to do Ding Hai Tang, which means you need to have joined the sect, not accessible. Then there's one in the Swallow Sect Nest, and the Swallow Nest is typically the Dagger sect, but you only have a single epic martial arts from this Swallow Nest and no legendary. And then the Sea Serpent Head is also not accessible to new players. So you're looking at a run with 0 legendary martial arts and 1 epic. That is absolutely pathetic. I think, does it even mention... Yeah, it only mentions Swallownest as well. So Dagger is absolute D tier, most likely even F tier if I were to include it. The next thing would be Fan, and I sadly have to put it either at D or low C as well. It faces the same issues as Brush. It just has better AoE. Like, that is simply Fan. Look at the AoE. Fan just makes it better in every regard. But still, it is very much locked behind the Confucius sect or even the Yan army. If we look at, in this case, the legendary manuals, one is from the Confucius sect, but only after a certain point, and it's the best manual there is. Still doesn't help. The other one is from the Yan army, and most people will not join the Yan army in like a first run. So you're at 1 legendary manual only. Does make it better than 0 and most likely 0 as well. But it's not all too great. Then the progression feels very sluggish, feels very bad. I would never recommend this. Now we finally get to some interesting ones, which is Fist. I wonder where you could place it, and S is the answer. First up, if you start out the game, join the Old Man sect, you will get so many Fist moves. If you defeat the Red Boar in the Nameless Forest, you are rewarded with an epic, so purple tier Fist move. If you complete the hero meeting in Chuxiang, you're rewarded with another epic Fist move. If you complete another certain quest, you get another epic Fist move. The downside is, typically if you look at Fist, and that what throws people off, is it looks to be a single tile AoE. But this is not the case for most Fist manuals. Most legendary and even some epic ones have way better AoE, so don't get confused by this. But basically, if you join the Old Man sect, you have a very pleasant tile. You are getting thrown multiple epic Fist manuals in succession, and that feels good. You're making very solid progression with that. If you then further continue the Old Man sect, you are even given a legendary Fist. And even if you do not get this legendary Fist manual, there are so many. If you look at it, there are a total of 10 Fist manuals, and they are scattered throughout the whole game. If you decide to join the Schiffer Temple at some point, you can get a Virocana Palm. If you join Confucius Sect, Sky Destroyer. If you do the Southeast questline, I think there are 3 or 4 different Fist manuals you can obtain. There are so many options, it's incredible. And it makes for a very nice early game progression. Yes, AoE in your first 30 levels will be a bit annoying, but collateral damage once more helps out. And once you get to the epic and legendary manuals, you have very solid AoE, a lot of damage. People's Palm is one of the highest damage manuals for a reason. If you are part of the Old Man sect, you get several defensive options, and it's going to be a very pleasant time. You can also obtain martial arts from the different town halls, which sure you can do for some plume manuals, but you don't need to. But all in all, Fist will be a very pleasant time. Even the legendary weapons, which we have not talked about too much, there is the 9 Yang weapon, for which you can get the blueprint and then easily craft it. So if you're looking to take your Fist build up to a higher stage, maybe with some more information about where to find stuff, perfect option. Very solid. It gives additional damage, and reduces chi. So S tier for Fist, absolutely. Flute. Yes, I am sorry, Flute, but not happening. It does have good AoE, but has essentially no manuals. Like AoE is looking good, I like it, but it sadly doesn't have any manuals. If we look at it, I don't even know if the wiki lists too much. Yeah, one legendary move, two epic moves. Forget about getting this, this will take a long time. This could perhaps happen, and that's it. That's your whole Flute run. You have one epic tier move, and that's it. Sorry, but that's clear F tier. We can probably do it somewhere like this as well if we want to add a row below. Let's just do this. I feel like this is needed. F. We gotta do it like that. It is just too pathetic. Never try Flute. I have seen some YouTube videos where someone started with Flute because they thought this is like a fun idea in a wuxia game. You're playing with a flute, maybe you're bonking them with that flute, or it doesn't work. It will be a very poor experience. Next up we have Lute. Almost the same thing, by the way. F tier for Flute, clearly D tier for Dagger, almost same thing applies. Lute, it does have a better option than Flute. It also has really good AoE, especially if you go even further with the top quality manuals. Amazing AoE, I love it. A few more options if we look at it, but still not that plenty. But yes, two good legendary moves which can be obtained from Melody House, but one of them requires another move. It's a very awful thing. If you can get access to all the musical manuals, then you can run any of the musical weapons, but if you do not have any of them, and by the way, what I'm talking about is perfect adaptation. If you have perfect adaptation, you can run any musical weapon with like any other weapon type, so you can run Lute and use Flute manuals. But if you do not have it, it's a very poor experience. Would never recommend. Same thing with Zither, and I'll go a bit out of the order. Amazing AoE. For some reason, all of these musical arts have amazing AoE, but very poor selection of manuals. Your earliest additional Flute here you can obtain in Linen City at the Maiden House, which, yeah, Blue manuals, not that amazing. Epic manuals are a bit logged behind content. You could do the Maiden House riddle, but if you're going in blind, that is unlikely. Yes, it's very bad. But now we get back from bad ones to amazing ones. Spear typically S tier, S for Spear. Very solid. If you join the Old Man sect, you are guided towards joining the Ye family army. The Ye family army has a ton of spear support. If you decide to look up some content online, you will find the Wild Wolf Valley with the Pear Blossom Spear, or Pear Blossom, how I say it. Very solid spear. If you then ask Young Yawa for advice, you can get an insane combo. Like my current Sectless and Zero starting trade runs uses that combo, and it's so nutty. That brings you through the whole game if you build it in a correct manner. And if you then decide to play like normal difficulty and not Nightmare, very easy breeze throughout the game. A lot of... I'll probably, first of all, we'll also show something before we get to more menus. Spear, amazing AoE. Look at this. You're hitting everything on the map, and if you then include collateral damage, it becomes so massive, this AoE. You don't even need legendary. Epic essentially has the same, I think it actually has the same AoE with collateral damage as legendary. You just walk into the middle of the park, into the middle of the mobs, hit one of these moves, and almost everything around you dies. It feels so gratifying and satisfying. Would recommend. If we then look at the manuals, you get very solid options by just joining the Ye family army. What is it? As a member of that Ye family army, do the Pacify Xiongfang quest, very early quest. I think you first join the Ye army, then there's a small competition, and then the next quest is this Pacify Xiongfang. Next up, as mentioned, the Pear Blossom Spear. If you just recruit, oh wow, you can even kill him, I did not know. If you recruit Yang Yawa and then just go to the nameless area again, you can get the Pear Blossom Spear manual and then combine it with your Pear Blossom Spear as a weapon. Insane combo. This guy is a bit harder to do, I wouldn't easily do it. Power Star Spear can also be relatively easy obtain, like it's easy to obtain, just gotta gift him some stuff and that's it. This event you could randomly stumble upon. You just need to have 60 plus long, which is the case if you're playing with Spear in general. Very solid. This is probably not happening. Like a ton of different epic moves, just the fact that Ye family Spear is guaranteed. Power Star Spear is very easy to obtain. Pear Blossom Spear, very easy to obtain. Pear Blossom Spear is absolutely nutty. It's just a sealed with the combo on that sealed from the weapon. Amazing. If you then go to legendary manuals, it gets a bit worse, but still really solid. Because, as mentioned, you join the Ye army, so at some point you will get Slipstream Spear, which is really solid, very strong, and yes, very strong. There you have a good legendary manual. Jolly Trident, on the other hand, you will not obtain. Straight up, you will not obtain. And then Scouting Snake Spear, I think, is from the Old Man. So if you start out with the Old Man sect, and then also, as he recommends it, join the army, the Ye army, you are looking at getting 2 different legendary spear manuals from just like the quest line. That's very good. But you're stuck at 2 legendary manuals. If you look at Fist with its 10 different ones, 10 sounds a lot better than 2. But nonetheless, the fact that you get 2 guaranteed legendary manuals on your run, insane. Absolute S tier, very nice early game. You can get Pear Blossom Spear with the synergy of the manual at probably level 15, level 20, and that carries you all the way up to level 80 without any issues. I'd probably put Spear above it. Good question. Would I put it... If you go for Pear Blossom, absolutely Spear is above Fist. If you do not, Fist is above Spear. That's my opinion. Then we have Staff. Staff, first up, very similar AoE to Spear. If you look at the end result, AoE, it's the exact same, but it's a bit more condensed around you instead of in each direction. Due to that, it gets worse with collateral damage, but to be honest, it's still insane regardless. If you hit in essentially this area and then you add the collateral damage nodes, amazing. The issue, and that's why I'm placing it in B, is not all too many sects have it, use it. You are looking at mostly joining the Schiffer sect to get any of them. In this case, if you look at it, at epic manuals, this one is a DLC 2 thing, not happening. This Cloud Forest stuff, the best epic move there is, does require you to beat Fubu Bingwei. And if you immediately decide to accept his challenge upon entering Linen City, you are locked out of this. And that's bad. That's bad. You have to postpone the battle. And I can't expect people to postpone the battle. Let's be honest, you are young, you are arrogant, you are hot-headed. Let's go, I'll rule the world. We're just fighting this guy. We're accepting the duel. I'm not backing down. I am showing my ego right here. And yes, most likely not happening. But if you do get it, insane. Next up, Never Killing Staff. Most people tend to side with one Yan Liang, so you do not obtain it. It's that simple. The Thunder Mountain Hammer can easily be obtained, so that is quite easy. And then the other two are purely from the Schiffer sect. And most people do not like joining the Schiffer sect as the first run, since it's the idea of being a monk, and if you're a monk, clearly you do not have any women, you die a virgin, etc. Where's your harem? Your harem does not exist. And yeah, it's a bit sad. But on the other hand, of course, legendary manuals, it's quite solid in. One of the legendary manuals, of course, is from the Schiffer sect. So if you do decide to join the Schiffer sect, very solid. Like, pleasant time. Where is it? It should be the Dharma staff. Yes, it is. Very easy to obtain from Schiffer sect, and that's it. Then if you decide to do the Northeast quest line, which maybe takes like an hour and is like level 55, you're almost guaranteed to get the Sky Dragon Wind Staff. Very pleasant. If you join the Old Man, you can get Polaris Staff. Quite nice. If you do the Beast Mana questline, which anyone can do, you can get the Polaris Wyvern Staff. Another one, quite nice. So you're seeing, look at this. It's quite easy to obtain multiple legendary manuals. So I have to put it in B. It cannot be lower. But it's definitely not as pleasant as Blade. And then Nothingness Staff, we can't forget about it. It's from the southeast region, but it requires a special route with Duke Chai and helping him, so it's a bit harder. But all along, great AoE, great access to legendary manuals, slightly poor access to epic manuals unless you should join Schiffer sect, but all around quite great. And then last but not least, to be honest, it is least, the last one, Sword, will sadly have to be put in B tier as well. Sword is your typical wuxia weapon. If you look at novels, let's be honest, 7 out of 10 characters will be using a sword. I think it's also called the king of all weapons. If you look at the introductions, yes, the king of all weapons. Why is it B tier though? And the answer is availability. But first up, let's get to AoE. When I first saw this AoE, I was like, kind of cool that it extends out for that long. But it looks like enemies have to all line up for you to hit it. But this is quite deceiving. And I'll probably head to the map just to show it. Sword AoE is a lot better than you expect. So if you imagine we are this tile right here, then wait, I already messed up drawing. Please, let me draw. Then your AoE is looking something like this as a legendary. You're standing right here. It looks like enemies have to line up in a row for you to hit it, unless you take collateral damage into account. If you look at collateral damage, suddenly your AoE will look like this. And I'm sorry, but this is absolutely insane AoE. You hit a 5x3 cone in front of you. It further extends by 1. You hit a AoE around you, and then it further extends in these areas. Really solid AoE. So don't be deceived by Sword AoE. But the issue with Sword is, if you join the Old Man sect, Sword is not all too great. You have to join the Lanya Sword Pavilion. And there is an option to join the Lanya Sword Pavilion from the Nameless Village if you decide to reject the Old Man. So that's the first criteria. And then you need to invite the blacksmith within a fixed time limit. And some people fail at it. And even if you join the, in this case, Lanya Sword Pavilion, your legendary moves are not looking too nice. There are quite a few legendary sword moves, but they are scattered throughout the whole game. If you join the Lanya Sword Pavilion, you're most likely only looking at the Nameless Sword. If you join the Old Man, you are only looking at Skybreaker Sword. If you join the Taoist sect, you are only looking at Infinity Sword. In most cases, unless you join Confucius sect, you are not considering Illusion Sword. In fact, Illusion Sword could be obtained in every run, but first off, it requires the knowledge of Confucius sect and the fact that you could heal Lingmongdi. And to heal Lingmongdi, you need 2 Dragon Lies. 2 Dragon Lies are obtainable in a tomb. The tomb you unlock by being part of Confucius sect, so that's the first issue. Or you can harvest them in your back mountain if the back mountain is level 4 or 5. I'll be honest, both of these cases most beginners will not have access to. So Illusion Sword in most runs is off the table. Same with Dragon Sword. While good, it is exclusive to the secret area, the VIP area. We can't consider it at all for a new beginner. So it's either Old Man sect Skybreaker Sword, or Langya Sword Pavilion, Nameless Sword, or Infinity Sword for Taoist sect. Out of those, the progression would be the nicest for Langya Sword Pavilion, as you get tons of other sword moves. But then if you look at the Nameless Sword legendary move, it requires a legendary sword weapon for you to get the damage. And I'll be honest, that's not the easiest to obtain typically, but we'll get to it. And 200 sword as a external stat, also quite hard. So you could be getting a legendary sword move without any additional damage, and that feels bad. Now you may be saying, yes, with the Langya Sword Pavilion there is the Weapon Pavilion where you can get different legendary swords. There are 3 different ones. But to even get access to this legendary Sword Pavilion, you need to get your forging level to level 5 and have crafted the Xuan Yun sword. I don't know if a beginner will typically get their forging level to level 5. And to be honest, if you craft Xuan Yun, you're using Xuan Yun regardless. And at this point, sword would probably jump up to A, definitely. But it just feels too gated behind, in this case, Langya Sword Pavilion, or the knowledge of other sword manuals. If you, of course, have more access to the different manuals, sword is definitely A, could even be S, but for a beginner, absolutely not. So this is my final tier list. Spear in S, fist in S, plate in A, sword in B, staff in B, then fan, brush, lute and Zither in D, and don't even look at flute or dagger. Now I hope you enjoyed this tier list. It's 33 minutes long, goddamn. Be prepared or be on the lookout for some more tier lists coming in the future days. And see ya, have a nice time.